So in the role I was playing a scouter looking after a troop and supporting the scout and the troop leadership. I think that the biggest learning for me was I've read a lot about the Canadian path and I understand the plan, do, review process. And I know that I'm going to be requested to work and behave in a different way than I've been before. So particularly if I look at youth-led leadership. And so it's been a challenge to think about what's that transition going to have to look at. Do I need to work and act in those new behaviors immediately? The biggest learning for me was that I realized that actually the youth need to go on that same transition that the adults need to go on. So they don't know what it means to actually be youth-led. They're so used to the adults instructing them on everything that they need to do. So I thought to myself, well, if I was to do this, I would actually look at it being a transition of perhaps over a 6 to 8 week period, where maybe I would maintain that kind of directive leadership approach at the beginning, and in doing, going through some instructions, perhaps sharing with the youth how do you use the plan, do, review cards, what does it actually look like, and making them comfortable about how do they actually then have to operate in this new way of working. And then perhaps it's only realistic that after 4 weeks, 6 weeks, or even only 8 weeks, you've got to a stage now where the youth leadership team is actually running everything, is operating in that new plan, do, review process. That was kind of the biggest learning for me. So I think the biggest learning for me regarding what I now know compared to not knowing before is I know that I can't just expect the youth to be able to understand that we are changing to a new way of operating. So indeed, whether it be youth-led, whether it be a plan, do, review, it's also all well and good to read the information from the cards. The kids are not used to doing that, so we actually have to help them. So the biggest learning was, if I'm going to have to change, they're going to have to change, and we actually have to change together, and we're going to help each other go through that transition.